Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Stephanie has an unsettling realization as Everett insists he's not Jada's husband. Johnny, Chanel, and Abe are by Paulina's bedside in the hospital, still dressed for their wedding. Kayla tells them the cancer has completely disappeared. For the time being, Paulina just needs a lot of rest. She may have trouble speaking and will need to stay in the hospital for follow-ups. Kayla invites Johnny and Chanel to the Valentine's Day Anniversary Club and wishes them congratulations on their marriage. Maggie and Constantine converse in the living room following his homemade dinner. Maggie describes how the children lit up at Constantine's candied hearts and how it cheered her to see Doug and Julie so animated after all of the upheaval. She receives a Valentine's Day card from Constantine. He just wants to express to her how much she means to him. He doesn't want to go beyond any limits. When Stephanie and Rafe join Jada in the pub, she gasps and says, "Everett is my ex-husband, Bobby Stein." Everett maintains that he has never met her. Rafe suggests that the two men only look like in an attempt to soothe Jada. Jada is aware that Everett, the guy who crushed her heart and spirit, is hiding behind his beard. She shows him their engagement picture as she angrily flips through her phone. Although Everett admits he looks like the clean-shaven man, he believes everyone has a twin. Jada yells that she will drag him to the station so they can take his fingerprints and verify that he is Robert Stein. Kayla leaves the hospital after giving Paulina a whiteboard to use for communication. Johnny offers to fetch her anything she needs, and Chanel accepts. Paulina writes that she is in possession of all she requires. A nurse enters bearing a cake that Chanel staff members brought in. When Paulina is allowed to eat, she writes to ask them to save her a piece. Kayla is found at the hub by the nurse, who informs her that she is invited to the price room for cake. Tripp hasn't arrived for his shift either. He receives a call from Kayla, who leaves him 2 messages. Maggie inquires as to if Constantine is a parent after they talk about Victor, Greek holiday customs, and Constantine's love of small children. He tells gravely that he had a daughter who was called Katharina. He loved her unconditionally until a terrible accident occurred. Maggie expresses sympathy for the anguish of losing a child. He goes on to say that although he loved Katharina's mother, their marriage failed to last after her passing. Everett asks Rafe calmly at the pub if he thinks Jada might be losing it. Jada explodes, saying he's gaslighting her. She issued him with divorce papers after finding out he had an affair, but he became a ghost instead. Everett restates that Bobby is not him. They never tied the knot. Recalling that Everett had claimed to have retrograde amnesia upon his initial awakening from a coma, a thoughtful Stephanie interjects. Perhaps it explains why he can't recall Jada. Rafe offers to investigate even though he's not sure what to believe. Everett is not hiding anything. The sight in his eyes tells Jada that he is the same lying, cheating son of a bitch that he knows her. Everett calls her insults ridiculous, yet he adheres to his story. Rafe proposes that they end the evening. Jada begs Stephanie not to let herself get further sandbagged than she has already. Then, she forewarns Everett that he will be discovered and receive his just desserts. Jada storms out, and Rafe follows. In Paulina's chamber, Johnny takes out his guitar and serenades his wife. After he's finished, Paulina cries in agony while the newlyweds canoodle. Chanel leaves for the physician. Paulina writhes on her bed, and Kayla runs back. Maggie assures Constantine that she is always available should he need to talk. Thanking her for that, he requests to give her a kiss. She gives a quick peck. He exits the room after wishing her a good night. Maggie appears impacted. Rafe meets up with Jada in the square, where she starts raving about Everett. Everett seems like a good guy, according to Rafe, who claims to have spent some time with him. Jada's gaze flickers. "Don't you think that I'm the one who's lying?" Naturally not, but they should use caution while addressing her charges. All Jada knows is that the moment she laid eyes on Everett, all the old scars surfaced. She claims that Rafe is unaware of the harm Bobby caused to her and the potential harm he could inflict to Stephanie. Jada intends to unturn every stone placed against Everett Lynch by going to the station immediately. Rafe tells her it's late and still Valentine's Day, but she doesn't want to hear it since it matters to her. He says he will investigate it further tomorrow. He advises them to head home and get her favorite meal for the time being. She nods feebly in agreement. He gives her a hug and says he will look into the matter. "Are you really not Bobby Stein?" Stephanie queries Everett when they are alone at the pub. Jada, according to Everett, is a total stranger to him. Stephanie questions once more whether the accident caused him to lose memory of his time with Jada. He acknowledges that parts of his memory are missing, but not entire relationships or years. He would recall getting hitched. After Jada recounts how she discovered a sizable credit card charge from a jewelry store, Stephanie remembers Everett telling her he had bought her an engagement ring before to the tragedy. Bobby, however, had not bought her anything in months. Stephanie is horrified and informs Everett that if Jada is speaking the truth and he is Bobby, then Stephanie is the other lady. Everett wants to return to his room and talk about it, standing by what he said. She decides it's not a smart idea and walks out. Maggie, overcome with emotion, looks at Victor's portrait in the Kiriakis' living room. She gives Constantine's card a quick glance before blowing a kiss at Victor's picture. She covers her heart with her hand as her eyes flood up. A despondent Constantine drinks in his chamber. He sobs as he glances at Katharina's picture. "Please be aware that we might get a tiny commission on any purchases you make after clicking on a link in this article." Serious caution and required solace. Though Stefan has had enough of being Clyde's tool, he still doesn't believe he can stop it. Indeed, he is aware that he cannot, and he cautions Ava against incurring Clyde's fury. Has Ava become more aggressive than normal because of something that happened? Apart from Harris being shot, everything else. Brady has been struggling lately. Because of Kristen getting under his skin, he totally blew it at his rare get-together with his daughter. Watch for him to reveal more to Marlena. It seems sense to utilize a stepmother who doubles as a therapist. Brady seems to be getting the short end of the stick when Teresa pays him a visit. She embarrassed herself in front of Alex, Robert Scott Wilson, thinking that he would propose to her by putting a ring in his pocket. Then, he didn't. Will Brady offer his hurting ex some words of wisdom? On Thursday, February 29th, Sal Stowers, Lonnie Price, and Lamont Archie Eli Grant will make a significant comeback to Days of Our Lives. Eli and Lonnie pay Paulina, Jackie Harry, a visit when they return to Salem. The last time we saw Archie, who also plays D'Angelo Carter on All-American, it was during Christmas, when he made a quick trip back to see the Horton family, including Doug, Bill Hayes, and Julie, Susan Seaforth Hayes. Since our last visit in July 2023, Stowers has been busy aside from her sporadic appearances on Days. She has enrolled in classes to become a certified life coach. After a brief hiatus, Jamie Martin Mann, Tate Black, returns to Days. On Wednesday, February 28th, he will be in town. Mann will appear in sequences alongside Teresa Donovan's Emily O'Brien and Bradley Black's Eric Martsolf.